Now out for the Xbox, PS5 and PC is Unfinished Business, which serves as an expansion for 2023's hit game RoboCop Rogue City. Though it's not DLC in a traditional sense, it doesn't require you to own the previous RoboCop game and is a standalone release, giving the player the opportunity to experience the game with a new story that takes place in a giant OCP tower block, very reminiscent of Dread from 2012, and even some of the stages in the game feel entirely ripped from the movie. There was a comic from November of 1990 with issue 11 called Unfinished Business, but this game has nothing to do with the comic. So for the plot of Unfinished Business, which takes place between the events of RoboCop 2 and 3, a group of mercenaries shoot their way through Metro West Precinct and steal RoboCop's chair, and take over the Omni Tower to set up their stronghold. As the tower is out of the Detroit Police Department's jurisdiction, it means RoboCop is going in alone. As he makes his way up the tower block, he encounters the residents who have been treated badly by OCP, as they have been promised a new life but have been left in slums, and crime has taken over with many living in fear. If you really enjoyed Rogue City, then you will have a lot of fun with this new adventure for Robo. It carries over everything that worked in the original, but does dull back some of the secondary objectives, which got a little bit tiresome in the original as you strolled around a section of the city trying to do extra missions and police work. This one focuses more on the action, as the hired soldiers attack you from every angle in large open spaces and tight corridors. The game carries over the same secondary weapons from Rogue City, but offers a new experimental weapon that fires out ice for Robo to freeze his enemies, causing instant death. If Robo is hit with it, it can do serious damage. You have some new obstacles to deal with, such as turrets which can kill you quickly, drones, exploding bots which are a major pain in the bum, and guys with rocket packs which are piss easy to take out and fun to shoot. RoboCop is also equipped with night vision to spot those pesky landmines. As this takes many story elements from the RoboCop trilogy, the Kanemitsu Corporation, who want to take over OCP, offer the mercenaries their prototype Terminators, who are instantly recognizable with their big grins and carrying a sword. They can be killed very easily, but once they strike you with their sword, they can wipe out over 50% of your health. Even though most Robo fans hate RoboCop 3, I do love that they reference the film. When it comes to the story, it's not quite as interesting as Rogue City, which I got more invested in with chatting with the main and additional characters for the secondary missions. I found myself skipping a lot of their dialogue because it was mostly forgettable. I was just keen to get back to the action and blast my way through the tower block. As you encounter the main bad guy, Cassius Graves, who has decided to model himself on Snake Plissken, we have flashbacks to when Alex Murphy was a regular cop on the beat. This is only there to serve the story to give some foundation to their past friendship, but this section was a bit underwhelming with its gameplay, and with the other additional flashback scenes, they are utilised to break up the action to balance out the pace of the game, but they are a bit redundant. Once I got to the final section of the game and got my Auto 9 back, which gets taken away from you for a short period of time, I had managed to upgrade the gun to the point where it became pointless to use any secondary weapons as I cut through the enemies like butter. You find yourself getting attacked by a giant security drone, which I thought at first was on my side because it never hit me and it seemed to be taking out the enemies, but I soon discovered I had to deactivate it, so it was on the enemy side. One of my favourite parts of the game was getting a chance to control Ed 209. Which at first I thought I had to encounter and battle as Robo, as you see the giant robot go up the elevator next to you. And I was like, oh shit, I've got to do battle with him now. But that wasn't the case. Later in the game, an engineer links Murphy to Ed 209, and you spring an attack on the mercenaries, clearing a pathway to the top of the Omni Tower. But Ed 209 is far more sluggish than Robo, as you might expect, and doing battle against 3 other Ed 209s was a bit of a surprise, but was a decent challenge. I did experience some issues with the game on a technical level. It does have a lot of performance problems, with the game freezing a lot for a second randomly and during heavy combat, which makes it a tad frustrating. It's like the game has to load constantly and stalls as you make your way into a new section, or if the area of combat gets more elaborate than just walking into a basic room. For example, you're shooting at people while on a lift, and the pausing begins to happen. Others have reported a glitch on Mission 6 with a secondary weapon, which I didn't encounter, but apparently it can be resolved by reloading a previous save. I'm sure this is easily fixable with a patch. I know the PC version has received some updates since release, but I've not seen anything with the Xbox version. I've definitely experienced more issues with this game than Rogue City, which just had more visual bugs and errors than actually tanking the performance of the game. For those who weren't keen on Rogue City, Unfinished Business won't suddenly change your mind. It's the same game, and for those who love fast-paced FPS games, the slow pace of RoboCop may be a little frustrating. Alex Murphy can run at a brisk pace and do a speed dash, but the overall speed of the game is not comparable to, say, Call of Duty or Doom, so at face value it may appear a bit clunky and cumbersome to play. Rogue City and Unfinished Business, at their heart, are somewhat retro in their approach to this genre, and the quality of graphics feels somewhat dated in comparison to, say, the big-budget AAA titles. This game still looks very nice, don't get me wrong. A lot of effort has gone into the game, and it's clearly made by fans of the franchise, but you do get a sense you're playing a game from a decade ago with some extra fancy lighting effects, which is fine. The pace of it and interacting with the characters for the most part is very enjoyable. The conversations in this expansion, however, tend not to offer much variety, with these secondary missions, which are offered as some extra gameplay and to upgrade RoboCop and his abilities, so it's wise to do them, but they aren't that satisfying. It's great Peter Weller is back to provide new dialogue for Robo, and despite sounding older in his voice, he still has the voice down. And with no RoboCop movie sequels on the horizon, and with Peter Weller being nearly 80 years old now, it's great we can still experience him as the famous cyborg cop in these games. Despite some teething issues on a technical level with its performance and some of the extra missions being a bit drab, I still had a blast playing it, and it's very cheap for a new release at £20, and you get roughly 10 hours of gameplay, which I think is a bloody good deal. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell to be notified of my latest reviews. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved and gain access to exclusive videos and take part in Q&As, follow the link below.